You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about the NBA and more specifically Charles Barkley. In case you guys did not know, TNT, Turner Sports, matched the offer, and that's coming from Warner Brothers, matched the offer that Amazon had on the table for the NBA rights deal, the media rights deal. They reserved the right to match it. They stepped up and matched it. And by the way, inside the NBA would still be a thing with Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Shaq, the whole nine. We all know that it's at least arguably the best pre- and post-game show in all of sports. And Charles Barkley, Shaq, they're all good. They're all good, let's be honest. And this happened. TNT loses the media rights. The league rejected the offer. This is rather interesting. Enters deal with Amazon. Now, that's been a source of much controversy on this channel because I tell you right now, number one, good luck with the quality on it because a lot of these NFL games on Thursday night, the quality of the games, and I'm talking about the literal streaming quality, is dog shit. And the games trend every Thursday night. Why? Because of literal video quality. You're like, wow, I wanted to watch HD, and I'm getting 480. And some buffering. And some lagging. And now the guy is pixelated. It's going to be a nightmare, all right? And it's got a lot of people just questioning what are the actual motives of the NBA. All right, and one of the guys questioning it is Sir Charles, who, by the way, was on with Dan Patrick. It sure sounds like Chuck's not retiring all of a sudden. And Chuck has been talking to people. But let's listen to this, or let me read this statement from Chuck, because he crushed the NBA. He slammed the NBA, and he believes this whole thing was rigged from the beginning. Clearly, the NBA has wanted to break up with us from the beginning. I'm not sure TNT ever had a chance. TNT matched the money, but the league knows Amazon and these tech companies are the only ones willing to pay for the rights when they double in the future. That's interesting. The NBA didn't want to piss them off. It's a sad day when the owners and commissioners choose money over the fans. It just sucks. I just want to thank everyone who has been at Turner for the last 24 years. They're the best people and the most talented, and they deserve better. I also want to thank the NBA and its fans, the best fans in sports. We're going to give you everything we have next season. All right, because, that's one season left. Now, Chuck was supposed to retire. Remember that? He come out and said, no, I'm going to do next year, and I'm out. Unless you're not out. All right, so he not only slammed the NBA, but he's also, he said, hey, they may want that Amazon money. Well, he may end up working for Amazon. All right, Dan Patrick.
Why can't you guys still do your show? If I'm Amazon, why wouldn't Amazon say, why don't we capitalize on the best, pregame show that there is out there and bring you guys in, keep everybody in Atlanta, keep all the producers, and you guys, just produce your show?
Well, first of all, you have to ask Ernie that, because Ernie is the guy who probably would never leave Turner. But, Dan, everything's on the table.
Has somebody spoken to Amazon?
I have spoken to all three networks.
So you spoke to Amazon?
I have spoke to all three networks.
So you spoke to Amazon?
I have spoke to all three networks, Dan, who got the NBA going forward.
I know Amazon is where you can
Let me say this. I have spoken for the last 3 months. I've spoken to all the networks.
That doesn't sound like somebody who's going to retire.
Well, Dan, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen. I mean, first of all, I'd be stupid not to take their call. But the beauty of this situation, I don't have to make any decision for a year, Dan. But I told all three networks, hey, I'm honored, I'm flattered that y'all want to talk to me. But let's see what happens in a year. So that's the great thing about it from my perspective. I don't have to make any decisions for a year. But like I say, my intention, I'm not trying to play hardball. I'm not trying to get attention. My attention right now is to retire. Like I say, Ernie would never go to another network. I have not talked to Kenny and Shaq, but I have listened to everybody. And like I say, I got a year, Dan. I ain't got to worry about this. All this stuff is just noise for a year, to be honest with you.
Okay,
I mean, honestly, Ernie Johnson's kind of like the glue that holds that whole thing together, in my estimation, right? Now, in case you're wondering, the NBA announced the renewal of its partnership with the Disney company, that's going to be ESPN, and new agreements with NBC Universal, that's going to include Peacock, and Prime Video will telecast NBA games beginning with 2025-26 season and running through 2035 and 36. Well, I got to tell you, like I said earlier, my issue is the NFL experience is not great, and there's just this traction for everything to go to streaming when, well, you still have a lot of people, and guys, you wouldn't believe how many more people in this country still have OTA antenna and nothing else. That is a real thing that is still out there, and I still am somewhat surprised that these sports entities don't realize over-the-air antenna ratings are massive. I mean, they got a bigger reach than any of this streaming stuff. Don't let anybody fool you, okay? I mean, look how many homes ESPN is in, and ABC is still in like another 30 or 40 million more homes than ESPN is. So you get my point. The quality's not great a lot of times, and I've got fast internet. Still not good. You know, about two or three games a year I have an issue with. Also, Caitlin Clark's games have been on Amazon Prime. I didn't love the quality there. Now maybe that's the WNBA. I get it, and maybe Amazon will put all the cards on the table and get the band back together from TNT. But I think it's pretty telling what it is that Charles Barkley said. The main takeaway here is, did the NBA rig this whole thing, knowing that when this comes back around again, Amazon will be willing to pay more than TNT would be willing to pay for it then? If that's true, well, I guess you could say, all things being equal, I guess that's smart business, I guess. Now, my thing is, why did the NBA have a right to reject it? You would have thought if TNT came in and matched it, it would be game over. Amazon would be out the door. Sorry, the previous guys matched it. We're going to stay with them. That's the way it's set up. Instead, the NBA stepped out there and said, no, we don't want to stay with you. Sorry, not sorry. So that's an interesting question, and it's interesting that Chuck called him out. And it's also interesting that it looks like he's not going to retire. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.